in Barcelona. People steal things in Barcelona. Just don't let it be you though. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Inka. You can call me YK or you can call me nothing at all. So as you can tell by the title, we are breaking down my itinerary for Barcelona. As you guys can tell from my vlog that went up before this video, I went to Barcelona to celebrate my anniversary, like thinking, yes, my anniversary. And it was a lovely time. I had such a great time, and I figured I'd just give you guys from my perspective as a skin folk. By the way, there aren't a lot of folks that look like me in Barcelona, just FYI, in case you are wondering. Okay, so first things first, what do you need to get into Barcelona? All you really need is obviously euros, passport, and bags. Obviously plane ticket, obviously, to get into Barcelona, but no one's asking for like proof of vaccination once you go into Barcelona. However, when you're coming back, if you're not an American citizen, you do have to fill out a COVID form. I don't know too much about that form only because I am a citizen, so I didn't have to fill out that form, but there is a form to be filled out when you come in upon returning back from Barcelona to America if you're not an American citizen. All right, just covering our bases. So we were there for about 4 days, 3 full and then one, well, I guess 2 full and then 1 and 2 not so full days. So that's that. We flew with Level Airlines, which is under Iberia, which is under American Airlines. Because you know how like the bigger airlines have like subsidiaries? So I think Level falls under one of those. And in total, our flight for both of us combined was about, let me see, like 1,800, just about 1,800. So essentially it was only 1,400 for the seats. We also had to pay for checking in bags. So we had one check-in bag, and we had to pay for our meals on the flight going and coming. So everything wound up being 1,800 in total. So that's that. So we flew with Level Airlines. I mean, we flew economy. Economy is not the most comfortable, it never is. However, the flight wasn't full, so going and coming back, really it wasn't full. I mean, coming back was a lot fuller than going. However, like there was like rows of empty seats and people would just like crash there, and that would be that. So that's that, right? And then so that's flying. And then hotel, we stayed at the Hoxton. It's in, oh my god, I'm gonna butcher this so bad. Poblelo, okay, it's in Poblelo. It's kind of like a downtown-ish area of Barcelona, or at least it gives up like the downtown vibes. So we stayed at the Hoxton Poblelo. We were able to score like, I think, really high floor, to be honest. So we were on the 9th floor. Yeah, we're pretty high up, and so we could see the cathedral like all the way in the background. I will insert like clips so you guys can see, but like the views were just really nice from the room that we were staying in. I'll also insert like clips of the room of what it looked like, and it was really comfortable, really nice. I told them we were coming for our anniversary, and they like gave us like chocolates. They wrote us like a really nice card, which is really sweet as well. So that's where we stayed. We stayed in the Hoxton. I've stayed in the Hoxton in LA before. That's why I picked the Hoxton in Barcelona. I generally do like the Hoxton hotels, to be honest, I'm not gonna lie. So in total, everything for the hotel came out to be about $588. So that was that. $588. So which wasn't bad at all, to be honest. For just how nice of a place it wasn't bad. So $588 for where we stayed. And then so just backing up for a little bit, so in Barcelona, I was asking our shuttle driver, or our cab driver, who picked us up from the airport, and he said obviously there's millions of people in Barcelona, but there aren't a lot of, like, the ratio for Uber to humans is just disgusting. So you're better off just calling for a taxi. So that's exactly what we did. So in order for us to get from the airport to our hotel, I was thinking ahead. And so, because I'm like, I don't know how to navigate this whole thing. I don't know if this Uber is here. I didn't want to be stranded. So there was this concierge service
that the hotel not offered as in like it was free, I had to pay for it. So essentially you book your ride from the airport to your hotel and another ride from your hotel to the airport when you're trying to depart. So that ran me about, I think if I'm not mistaken, over $100, because they had to do like foreign transaction fees on top of everything. So that was that. But honestly, it made our lives so easy because coming off of a 14-hour flight, by the way, the flight is it's long. So just budget 14 to 15, depending on when you're flying out of. I flew out of LAX and it took me 14 to go and about 15 to come back. So, I mean, thankfully there is a direct flight. Some places there isn't a direct flight. So if you're flying out of LAX, it's great. However, the flight time is disgusting. So our first stop was at Nobu. The food was amazing. I wanted a sea bass. I wanted a certain type of fish on the menu because it was, I wanted a certain type of fish. But they just dished out the very last one. And so I got something instead. I wasn't a fan. I think it's the miso something. I forget what it was. But it was nice, but it was heavy. So whatever oil they used to make it, it just felt heavy. So I just couldn't enjoy it as much as I wanted to. But let me tell you, everything from like appetizer to the end, just chef's kiss. I mean, obviously it's Nobu, but just so if you wanted to go to Nobu in Barcelona, I would say yes. I think I spent about 150, 155 for dinner. Euros, by the way. When I'm talking, yeah, so euros was how much I spent for that. And then, which is how much American dollars? I don't know the conversion, but it'll be here somewhere. But yeah, so that's what we did. And then, so went to dinner at Nobu. Then that was it. That was the end. Came back, took some pictures, and that was it. Went to bed. Now, day 2, we had breakfast at Zenith Brunch and Cocktails. It was really nice, actually. So it's like a really nice brunch spot. I had, I think, like toast, eggs, yogurt with like granolas and stuff. And it was really, really nice, actually. I'm not gonna lie. And like the food options were a lot. So you have like plant-based options and like just regular options and stuff. So they definitely do cater to like a good amount of the population with like dietary restrictions and stuff. And then I think on there, I spent about 55 euros. So which wasn't bad, to be honest. Spending euros felt a lot nicer than spending dollars because I didn't know the conversion, so it was easier to just like spend. Also, I think I said like the taxis you have to pay taxis. Just FYI, if you ask your hotel to order a taxi for you, which by the way, the Hoxton were very, very gracious. They were ordering us taxis every time we would call. So like every time we would call downstairs, like, hey, can we get a taxi? They would be like, oh, okay, give us like 5 to 10 minutes. In 5 to 10 minutes, they would call us back, your taxi's downstairs. So your hotel, wherever you stay, I can only vouch for the Hoxton. They were nice and they were kind. And whenever we call downstairs and say, hey, can you please order us a taxi? They would just always say yes. So that was that. So we ordered taxis and the meter runs the minute the driver gets there. So if you're still upstairs not ready, by the time your driver is there, trust that they will start the meter until you get downstairs. So make sure that you're downstairs exactly the time that your driver is there. Otherwise, the meter will just keep running. And I was paying with just euros, so I think our taxi, and I'll do the taxi totals in the end, but just so you guys know, FYI, I keep bouncing back and forth, but just, yeah, as you go, take notes. So we had lunch at the Zenith, that was about 55 euros, and then we hopped in a cab, went to, what's it called? I can't spell it. Casa Batillo. We had the gold experience, which was about, I think it was like $189. So it's for 2 people. So it's, honestly, if you're going to Casa Batillo, I would say 100% get the gold experience, because one, you don't have to wait in line, and two, you get like an interactive thing going on. I'll insert pictures of me in Casa Patio. But so they give you like the headset and like an iPad, and it's this really old house, but it's architecturally the most, just like, I can't even explain it. I would just insert pictures and you just form your own thoughts. But just for the senses and the sensory senses, just such an amazing place. I would 100%, I would go again. I'm just saying, I'd go again. But it was so cool. It was so cool. We hopped in a cab and we ended up at ended up going to, what's this place called? Gotico. They call it the Gothic Quarter, but Barcelonians just call it Gotico. So we ended up just kind of walking around. We walked through Plaza Real, all the spots pretty much. We just kind of walked around and like took pictures, you know, just kind of like taking in the architects. And all right, so just sidebar, the one thing I loved about Europe is the alleyways. Like, you're walking down the street and then boom, there's an alleyway. You're walking down and then boom, another alleyway, another alley. And it was just, I'm gonna insert my favorite picture that I took right here, or somewhere my picture will pop out. But it's this lady and this little girl, and it looks like something out of a painting. I mean, best picture I've ever taken in my entire life. And I've taken a ton. Best picture I've ever taken. But anyway, I'm rambling. So for dinner, we're gonna have dinner at My Way Lounge restaurant. However, it was closed. It's closed. I made reservations, and nowhere in the reservations did it say that they don't open on, was it Tuesday? Or yeah, on Mondays. It doesn't open on Mondays. Nowhere. It was giving lost. It was giving lost. But anyway, so we ended up having restaurant at this other we ended up having dinner at this other restaurant. I can't speak English today. We ended up having dinner at this other restaurant. Wow, again, dinner at this other restaurant. It was awful. It was so bad. 0 out of 10. I'm sorry. I think if you remember in my Barcelona vlog, I will I'll put it in the cards or at the end, so you guys can I had like a little mini rant about it. So just so you guys know my thoughts. But I'll insert like clips from the restaurant in here, just so you guys can see. But I would not recommend it. The crazy thing is, the next day when I went to like so the next day we go to this interactive seafood paella class. And the instructor, he takes us, you know, to this area, and he points at the restaurant that we had dinner at, and he goes, oh, this is one of the best places for for like just to eat and stuff like that. And I'm looking at my boyfriend, and I'm like, did he just say that? This like internally I was laughing, but obviously I didn't say anything. I didn't tell him like my experience, obviously. That would have been rude. So I just kept it to myself, right? So after dinner, which was a waste of money, but I think that was about, I'm saying like 120 euros. Like 120 euros, so nothing too crazy. And then we hop in a cab, get back to the hotel, and that was it. Next day, we were supposed to have breakfast at Crema at 11, and I'd seen pictures, and it was, I'm so mad I didn't go. But I was supposed to have breakfast, but I was tired and I just wanted to sleep in. So don't be like me. Go get breakfast in every spot that you want to get breakfast in. But anyway, so I was so tired. I was like, oh my God, I just want to sleep in. And so I sleep in. So, and my boyfriend, he's such a good sport. If I'm like, I want to sleep in, he's like, yeah, sure, let's sleep in together. So we slept in, and that was that. But the restaurant was Crema at 11. And then, so we were able to kind of get up by noon. We had reservations at Casa Delfin, but we missed our reservation. However, by the time we got to Casa Delfin, there was like literally hardly anyone there anyway, so we were just able to like just sitting anyway. I'll insert clips so you guys can see. But let me tell you. All right, so I know I said no. All right, no, I went to Nobu on first night. Banger, 10 out of 10. Loved it. Casa Delphine, baby. Casa Delphine. Let me tell you, like, I'm gonna insert clips, but them potatoes, I don't know what. I think they may have like fried it in palm oil or something, but it just all my senses. So good. Take a breath. Okay, so the potatoes were potatoing. And just so you guys know, both of us had 3 courses and our bill was about 94 euros, 94, 95. I ended up tipping, like, I just gave like 100. But fun fact about Barcelona is, no, like, you don't have to tip. So like in America where like you go, you eat, other than that, in Barcelona you don't have to, like, there is no like tip that you're tipping. Let's say if your bill is 58 euros, you could just leave 60. If you're like in Casa Delphine, my bill was 95, I left 100. So you don't have to tip, but like some people just add extra, but there's no like tipping. So sometimes I would leave extra if like I didn't have the exact amount, and sometimes I didn't. So tipping is not a thing in Barcelona. So just keep that in mind. All right. I could ramble about Casa Delphine if you let me, but I won't. Anyway, so same day, we were kind of walking around the area, and then we go to chocolate box. I want to say chocolate. I think it's chocolate box. But anyway, I got to finish my little Spanish speaking skills, but not really, but it's okay. And it's so good. I think we both got vanilla actually. I'll insert clips. Both got vanilla. It was really, really good. I mean, we were both full, but we just literally walked from Casa Delphine and we saw chocolate box, and then we had ice cream after having a dessert at Casa Delphine. But it's okay. You only live once. Sometimes you only go to Barcelona once, so YOLO. And I think at chocolate box, everything was like maybe 5 euros, maybe 5 or 7. I think it was 5 euros for both of us. And yeah, that was it. And so I think after that, then where did we go for dinner? Okay, so we went to chocolate box, and then we just kind of walked around, took pictures, and then for dinner we met up with Gerard, who was our paella instructor. So first he took us to the market to grab like the fish and everything that we would need, and then we go back to the kitchen and we started making seafood paella, and it was so good. It was really, really good. We had oysters, we had shrimp, we had everything. I'll insert clips. And the casa was really good because it was people who were in like relationships, me, people who were single, people who came as a group, whatever the case may be. So, and everyone had such a good time, and everyone was able to kind of participate and joke around and like just do all the things. So even that, I think that cost about $162, so about $132. Because $132, and so that was how much that was. And then after that, I think we just kind of went home. Well, home meaning we went back to the hotel, and that was it. So I think in total, our taxis ran me about, if I'm not mistaken, 200 euros. About 200 euros. So I don't think it's bad. The one day they did have a taxi strike, so we had to take the metro, which was so fun for me. And so this right here is how much I ended up spending in Barcelona. Well, essentially for the entire trip. So booking the trip and also while I was there, which includes all this is all the dollar and euro conversions of everything. So This is how much, but it was for a specific reason, a la my anniversary, and it was one of those things where it's like it just had, not it has to be done, but like, in retrospect, I'm glad I did it. I mean, I was not going to do it anyway. It was a trip that I planned. But I think one of my favorite things in life in general, like I've never been to Barcelona, obviously, yes, but I also like to see when people experience things for the first time and like the joy in their face, or like just like the way their eyes, you know, glisten a little different, the way like they act a little different. And so for me, being able to gift that to someone who goes above and beyond the stratosphere of life itself, that was enough joy for me. And yeah, so that's how much I spent for my Barcelona trip. Now, pros and cons, I would say. The pro is go to Barcelona. That's it, I'm kidding. But pros of Barcelona, there's a lot of things to do. There's so much things to do. A lot. You will never tire of things to do. So much things to do. So many places to eat. Obviously, you have to take recommendations with a grain of salt. Not everyone's palate is the same. However, there is a ton of places to eat. You will never tire of the food. It's walkable. It is such a walkable city. I love it. Like, I'm from New York, so a city that is walkable, I'm 10 toes deep every time. So it's such a walkable city. Obviously, if you need to take a taxi, taxis are available. Also, pro, the taxis are so available. Usually how you can tell a taxi is available is if they have like the green symbol on their top of the car. But there's so many taxis, you will never be stranded for a taxi. The minute you see a green symbol on the car, flag him down and you're gonna stop every single time. So that's a pro. Since I said food, things to do, taxi service. Also, the people are really nice, so lovely. That's that. Everything seems cheaper in Europe. I don't know if it is, but everything just seems cheaper. So the food seems cheaper. Everything just seems cheaper. I don't know why, but that's my perception of like cheapness and like stuff. So that's what I'm saying for me. But everything seems cheaper. So take it out with a grain of salt. Let me see what other pros are there. I mean, I know everyone says, because then when I said I was going to Barcelona, a couple people were like, why are you going in the winter? Like, it's way better in the summer. Go in the summer, do it in the summer. I was like, I'm gonna go. I speak for myself. And I'm glad I went, because I'm sure it's amazing in the summer, but it's also amazing in the winter. Let me tell you, I could not tell if it was winter or summer. I mean, the temperature was cold, so I could tell that. But there was everybody and their mamas was still in Barcelona while it was cold. And I'm sure everybody and their mom is in Barcelona when it's hot. So I felt like it was summer anyway. So essentially, if you're not someone who likes like a touristy place, maybe Barcelona isn't for you, so I guess that'll be a con, but I don't mind it, so I'm cool with it. A con for me, honestly, the only con is it's so fucking far. It's so bloody far. It's 14 hours on the plane. I think I considered jumping off the plane at some point. My will to live would just dwindling every time the 14 hours would just be like 14 hours and 42 minutes, 14 hours and 41 minutes, 14 hours and 35 minutes. Yeah, my will to live was hanging by a very thin thread. Yeah, I had no will to live. So my only con is that it is so bloody far. Otherwise, I have no cons for Barcelona. I'm sorry. I don't. It was a trip that I would take again and again and again. I did not want to leave. I think at some point I was like, I'm convinced I want to live in Europe for at least 6 months out of the year. To be honest, if I have the luxury like that, and the minute I get that kind of luxury in my life, oh, I'm living in Europe for 6 months out of the year, every single year, without fail. And that'll be that. And no one can beat me. That's it. So yeah, that's my Barcelona itinerary breakdown / cost breakdown / pros and cons list. And if you've been to Barcelona,
Also, share the wealth down below. I would love to know other places that are also cool and fun and like places to eat, because I intend on going back. So the fact that I'm sharing my itinerary does not mean that you have to follow this itinerary. It's just what I did and what was fun for me. So yeah, take it with a grain of salt. My palette is different from your palette. What I want to do is different from what you want to do. So yeah, my favorite thing in Barcelona for experience, I would say, was Casa Batillo. Favorite food place, golly, I want to say Nobu. I do, because Nobu was good. Oh, Nobu was good. But Casa Delphine, baby, that's my girl right there. That's my girl, I'm sorry. But Nobu was great. Nobu was great. That's the thing, I feel bad for not saying Nobu. But Casa Delphine was just like such a, you can tell like it's one of those like really old places that is just aged with time, and just, I'm sorry. Casa Batillo. No, not Casa Batillo. Casa Delphine. So yeah. That's it. That's my Barcelona itinerary. If you guys enjoyed it, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me on the socials. It'll pop up on the screen. Follow me on the socials. Tell me what you liked about this video. If you've been to Barcelona, what are your recommendations? I know there's a thing with pickpocketing, so I should mention that. I wasn't pickpocketed, but maybe because I was hyper aware, so I just knew not to like be so like, oh, careless with my bag, here's my bag, come take my bag, you know. Like a nice little tip, if you're in a restaurant, they always say don't hang your bag on like the arm part of the chair. So that's one tip, because pickpocketers and just people be thieving sometimes. People do be thieving. I don't know what to tell you. People be thieving in Barcelona. People steal things in Barcelona. Just don't let it be you though. So essentially just being aware of your surroundings, obviously, and make sure that you're not putting yourself up on the platter to be pickpocketed, essentially. So yeah. And yeah, let me know what your pros and cons of Barcelona are if you've been. And yeah, I will see you guys in another video. This was really fun. This was really fun. I haven't done sit downs in a little minute. Maybe I have I? I don't know. But sit downs are fun as well. So yes. Okay guys, I will see you in the next video, hopefully soon. Until then, don't forget to stay loose, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.